Welcome to the 47th episode in the martial poetry series. In this video we're covering a movement from 18 Lohan, and that movement is called cutting down 1,000 soldiers. So this 18 Lohan is the Qigong, and one that came from a Tibetan lineage that supposedly came from Damo himself, one of the three exercises, Yijing, Shishuijing, and 18 Lohan. So this is the Tibetan variant of it that once the Shaolin temple had burned down, some monks fled to Tibet and then carried that practice to Tibet with them. So this movement, part of that Qigong, which is also a martial system itself, has this movement called cutting down 1,000 soldiers, which looks like this. So it's a very simple looking chopping movement. Now, what the poetry has to say about it. It has a lot to do with a similar concept, which really it's the same concept of aiming past your target rather than aiming at your target. Because if you aim at your target, right, the power gets dispersed across the surface of the area of your hitting. But if you hit through the target, there's more penetrative force. So it's the same kind of thing like that, but done with chopping. So instead of something going in a straight line, it's something going along an arc. So the image that you're trying to convey, like you are basically taking like a weapon, like a guandao, for example. A guandao, a spear, a staff, something like big, and you're just, is this type of movement. So you're imagining, when you're doing the movement, that you're taking your big weapon and you're cutting through a horde of enemies. So you're not just aiming at one enemy, you're aiming multiple enemies. And if you want to go literally with the metaphor, 1,000 enemies. Picture it like an anime, just one cleave, 1,000 enemies, all decapitated. So that's the kind of idea. You're sweeping through a bunch of enemies, not just hitting one, but sweeping through a whole bunch of them. So what that has to do, right? When you have your opponent with you, right, you can aim at him, aim at a target, but again, it'll disperse the power over the surface. So instead, I think I cut through the target. So when I hit him, no matter where I hit him, whether neck or rib cage or temple, wherever, right, I don't just hit at the target, but I cut through. And it creates more penetrative force, more cutting force. Not literally cutting like a sword, but smashing through. That's what you want to think about it. So when I do the movement, I'm not just picturing that I hit here and then I stop, but I might hit here and then sweep past, almost as if I have two opponents and I'm trying to hit both of them, but like one's here, so I hit one and then bam, hit the other. Or maybe throw my first opponent into my second opponent. Not literally, doesn't mean literally do that, but mentally do that to get the power going, right? So it's trying to hit through the target is as if you have a second target. If you have a second target and you can hit both of them, great. But the primary concept is hit through the target, not just aim at the target. Hit the targets as if there's 1,000 of them and you have to cleave all the way through with your weapon. But your weapon is your hands. So that's the concept. So that's 18 Lohans cutting down 1,000 soldiers. See you in the next video.